Oh, good evening, folks. This is Kenny with Just the Right Angle doing a overnight report here. This is Kenny Wallace with Just the Right Angle doing a quick report on what is going on, what has been going on past few days. It has been very busy. You can check me out on Podbean at The Right Angle. I'm also on YouTube under Keep Arkansas Legal and Podbean, and on Rumble as well. Several other organizations I'll mention at the end of this. I guess the first thing to go through is a lot of the things that have been going on in the Arkansas legislature. If you're able to watch this video, I'm typing in SB 43 is probably the big one that's made national news. It's the classified drag performances that are already in business. It keeps kids away from some of these pedophile grooming events known as drag story hour, as well as other things. It has cleared a Senate committee, which I was able to film at. This is my YouTube page, but it's lots of different things I've been to. Probably the oddest thing is what happened right after the committee is this guy, Jason Bailey, as I was giving a report right as the section and threatened the Arkansas legislature. He's with some organization, I don't know what it is, but that's him there. I cut the sound off. Actually, I'm not able to have sound while I have this microphone plugged in, but you can kind of see, you can go to Just the Right Angle on YouTube and see that footage, as well as testimony mainly against the bill. The LGBTQ folks are vehemently against this. They're claiming that it's an attack on them. It's not. They're claiming all over Twitter and all the rest of media that it's a ban on drag queen and drag events. It's not. It doesn't ban them. It only keeps children away from them. There's Gary Stubblefield, great fighter for conservative rights, and of course the lovely Rebecca DeWitt there of Lincoln County. Not very many conservatives have been able to go to these events. The media, of course, is trying to frame this along with the ACLU and the Arkansas Chamber of Commerce and other groups, that this is going to be harmful to business and it's going to be, again, an attack on a community, and it's going to cause, and of course they'll bring up the legal problems, but this type of legislation has been passed in other states and has survived a lot of legal scrutiny. So look forward to this bill passing. It's going to be in House City County Affairs, I believe, February 1st. It's kind of being worked on. This is another bill. It's kind of on the similar same rate. It's regarding using the bathroom based upon how you're born, and it deals with school districts. This is also done by Mary Bentley, and then Dan Sullivan sponsoring it in the Senate. It actually was talked about in Education Committee, but it has to be amended. And then I think there's going to be what's known as a fiscal impact study regarding this. But this would actually fine, I think, superintendents' administrations if they don't adjust it to where these trans people can just use a unisex single bathroom instead of allowing them to go into locker rooms where there have been an instance of assault in other states. Virginia, I think it's called Loudoun County, Virginia, is where a man's daughter was raped by a person who identified as a female, and then when he complained to the school board, he was actually arrested. And that's the kind of behavior we don't want to have any of those incidents ever even occur here in the state. And so it just makes sense to say, look, if you want to have that lifestyle, we can accommodate as best you can, but it doesn't give you the right to just randomly decide to go wherever you want to in regards to restrooms. And we have we've had stories of people who literally just say they don't even bother to dress up. They just walk in and say, I identify as this, and they think they can get away with doing whatever they want to. So I didn't get the chance to go to that event, but you can see what happened by going to the committee. They have archives of when these bills were dealt with, and you can see some of the footage there. But it was Mary Bentley, two school administrators from, well, I think it was school board members from Faulkner County, and then a few people that testified against it. And then it was, I think, debated again after adjournment in the House. I don't know when it's scheduled. I show here, well, let's see, the 31st of January, Education Committee, room 38. It's supposed to, let me see the agenda in here. Current Public Schools, it's HB 1156. There it is. Pending fiscal impact. So it could be debated on that day, but you kind of have to wait and see. It's kind of a crapshoot. Right now we're fighting these various cultural battles, but there is something I want to talk about a little bit. It's kind of on the same line, is regarding the funding. I've talked about this before. One thing we need to do, especially in terms of if we're going to try to pass tax cuts and give teacher raises, is cut the waste and spending in other places. And this is one example. This is House Bill 1078. It's an act for the Department of Education, Educational Television Division. It's basically the money for PBS. And I've showed this before, but I'll show it again. You look at some of the salaries here, and you have all kinds of stuff here. Personal managers, and you get the number of employees, 102 fiscal year. There's their regular salaries, just under $4 million. And then here's some other items. Operational specs, $6 million. And then you have not quite $9 million here. Promotional items. And the thing is, PBS used it a long time ago. Used to be really nice. I liked things like Mr. Bean. There was a TV show called Allo Allo. Are You Being Served? Had some, a Reading Rainbow. And then they had some other story items. I think Mutual of Omaha was on there. Maybe it was on another channel, but it was nice. It was educational. But over the years, like many other things, it has turned into mainly left-wing propaganda. And it's something that doesn't need to be funded to the tune of, looks like not quite $15 million, maybe a little more than that. I'm looking at various numbers. I'm just adding up the numbers from these two lines here. Which if you get 4 million. And then, but I don't know if this 4 million is added into this 6 or not. Total amount appropriated. I'm just going total amount appropriated 6 million, and then total amount appropriated not quite 9 million. So, well over $15 million. Maybe 60 million because it's not, well, I'm just going to put, I'm not going to quite add it around there, but it's well over 15 million. And that's just for the fiscal year for PBS. There's lots of other things that the Arkansas legislature is wasting money on. Well, the state of Arkansas, rather, is wasting money on. Now, this has been referred to by Joint Budget Committee, but it's no upcoming events yet. Right now, they're appropriating bills for other things, including the operation of the legislature itself. But eventually, they will get to this. And what I'd like to do is simply set it to 0, or if not, at least reduce it. Now, let's say they cut it in half. $7.5 million. That's a lot of teacher raises. That's a lot of repairs that need to be done to the school infrastructure, so we don't have to raise taxes. And speaking of which, that could also lead to a tax cut. If you type in funding and under advanced search in these bills, If you go to Arkansas Legislative website, type in advanced search, click advanced search, click 94th General Assembly, and then with at least one word, funding,